Guys, I know I say this every week, but this one's, well, there haven't been really any changes this week. I've been told that I'm widening out, um, and I feel it, like, I don't really feel it, but my pants, I'm going through pants like freaking nobody's business. It's ridiculous. It seems like every week I'm throwing out another pair of pants. Me and Sydney are going pants shopping again. Um, it just seems to be like a never-ending um, ordeal, I guess. Um, so, because there really haven't been any changes, I wanted to take this week, for whatever reason. I don't know why. Um, I wasn't gonna do it, but something's been telling me all week that I need to do it. So, today I'm gonna talk about how I picked my name. Um, Honestly, I didn't pick any, whether it was my first, middle, or last name. They were all chosen by somebody else. Not really for me, but just kind of suggestions. So, um, when I was living in Dallas, um, I was going by the name Ethan, which um, I've always liked that name. It was kind of a strong but subtle, was the way I like to describe it, for me personally. So I went by that for a good minute, um, and then I started working in apartments. And my boss at the time didn't like the name Ethan, and I damn sure wasn't going to let her put my birth name on my work uniforms because I had to have my name embroidered on the little patch thing or whatever. So, um, she finally came to me one day. She's like, "Look, I've got to find something. I've got to put something on your shirts. So it's either going to be shit or Shane. Take your pick." So Shane it was, and then I was Shane for the next 6 years or so. Um, so that was kind of how the Shane part happened. So, um, a few years later, I was working for an electronic retailer, and I had a boss who was cool as shit. Love that guy. And his name is Matt. And so I was talking to him. He was like, "So where did the name Shane come from?" So I told him, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool." He goes, "So what are you gonna put with it?" I said, I don't have any idea." I said, "I don't even know if I'm gonna use Shane as a first name or a middle name. I don't know. I'm just Shane." So he was like, "Well, Shane Matthews got a good ring to it." I was like, "Yeah, it definitely does." So from then on, I was Shane Matthew. Like, that's just who I was to him. Um, so um, that's um, I never really like stuck with it. That was just something that he did, and I was only Shane Matthew with him. So um, then I decided, the whole time I was doing the Shane thing, my mom hated it, because it reminded her of the first time I went through this whole transgender thing. Um, because that was the name that I chose to go with throughout the whole thing. And later, when I decided that it wasn't something I was ready to do at the time, then it just stuck. I mean, so many people knew me as Shane that I was just, that's who I was. So, um, a few years later, when I was working for another company, um, my mom and I finally came to a compromise, and I decided that I would drop Shane if I could come up with something, or if either one of us could come up with something that was more unisex, like, because I was still struggling with my gender. Like, I didn't really feel all the way male, but I didn't feel all the way female either. So there was some kind of struggle within me, and a really good friend who I called out on the last video, and I've heard about it all week. she would tell me that because I'm Irish and Scottish, that was the reason for my inner struggle was, my heritage fighting and battling within myself. But anyway, so we finally decided, me and my mom decided that I would go with Erin, but Erin. So I was like, all right, fine, whatever. So then I moved to Georgia, and I was Erin to everybody. Like, everybody knew me as Erin. So then I met Sydney, I guess. Then I met Sydney, and I started making friends out here and whatever, and that's who I was here. I was Erin. So it was easier, rather than to change my name again, to just change the spelling. So I went with Aaron. And then because I've always had such a strong pull with Shane, that was how I decided with my middle name. And then Matthews came from Shane Matthew. So I know there's some guys out there that have been struggling with what's the best name for me, and what do I look like, and who am I, and all this kind of stuff. I would like to say it's something that you have to decide on your own, but sometimes it's not. I mean, sometimes it just happens. That's not to say that if somebody starts calling you something you don't like, that you have to go by that. Because, no. Nobody should be able to call you something that they want if you don't like it, So, I like Shane. I like Matthews. I like Erin. I have my days where I'll flip-flop. I'll tell Sydney today's a Shane day, or today's an Erin day. I mean, some days she'll even ask me, what kind of day is it? I'm like, I don't know. I'll let you know. Not that it really matters, because I'm nothing but Erin Shane to her anyway. So, it's got to be something that you feel a personal connection with. I have that personal connection more so with Shane than I do with anything else. But at this point in the game, too many people know me as Erin for me to be able to go back and flip it. So once we move up to Tennessee and whatnot, then I may start that life over as Shane. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I mean, it's legally. Maybe that's why I've been wanting to talk about my name so bad, because I'm about to go make it all legal. Legally, I will be Erin Shane Matthews. But, I mean, that's not to say that somebody down the road will give me another nickname. A name is just a name. But at the same time, I feel like it is something that you have to feel strongly about. So, that's my take on that. Also, I've been meaning to say this for months now, but I keep forgetting. No more Shark Week. Shark Week has been done since, like, October. This is now January, almost February. So, if it hasn't come back by now, I'm probably going to say it's safe to say that, yeah, it's gone. Huzzah! So, anyway, that was for you, Amanda. But, anyway, so yeah, that's exciting. And yeah, like I said, I've been meaning to say that for, like, months now, but I've always been so sidetracked with something else that I don't even know what made me think of it now, but I'm glad I did. So, anyway, I'm signing off. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will talk to you all next week.